So we are now in the month of November where frankly anything is possible. And that might sound super corny. I get it. We've obviously just come out of a very ugly bearish month for the market. And really it's just 2 days that causes bearishness, which is absolute insanity to me. But we're now getting the right news. We're getting trade deals done. We're getting rate cuts. We're making progress, right? And so there's 3 different scenarios that could actually play out here in the month of November that I want to go over, what those prices could be, what some of those events are. But I do also want to give everybody an Ouroboros Leios update that they may have missed as well. So if you guys are new or haven't already, show your support for the channel down below. Hit that subscribe button, that bell. It's free to do. It'll keep you updated anytime there's new content live here on the channel. So here's what I will say. The month of October actually started off on a pretty promising note. We were seeing some green. We were dealing with some light consolidation here. And unfortunately, the October 10th event basically took a lot of wind out of our sails. And then we were dealing with fallout basically the rest of the month, retail uncertainty, right? But it was questions about whether things would drop lower. Is it going to get worse? And we had actually looked pretty good. We were setting slightly higher lows. We were staying on structure all the way up until Jerome Powell spoke on Wednesday. And then that caused a subsequent day fallout in markets around the world. And, you know, it kind of is what it is. Obviously not much we can do with it. It just has led us to where we're at now. But if you really think about it, again, we've now gotten all these different trade deals in place. It sounds like they're very, very excited about them and want to keep them in place for a while. We're getting rate cuts. We're making steps toward, again, the QT ends in December. So these are really promising things on a much bigger, broader scale. And that might pump some of the confidence you need into the crypto market. Now, that being said, there are both bullish and bearish scenarios that could play out over the course of this month. So this was actually a post by NFTs or Harsh Singh. All right, that's collab manager. And what he actually said is the bear face. This is the bear case for ADA here in the month of November. Let's start with this because things obviously have been so quote unquote bearish, where ADA price could range between 50 cents to 65 cents due to BTC correction and low summit impact. We obviously have the Cardano summit coming up here as well. And I'd have to look back and see what this does historically for price. I don't know if it does a whole lot unless we've had major unveilings, major announcements. But, you know, BTC has done a pretty good job here of bouncing back. We've actually seen it bounce off of this 200-day moving average, which is a great sign. If we take a look at our weekly chart, we are on the verge of closing on the bearish side, which sucks. But a lot of times when we do close down here and there's not this huge negative news cycle that's hitting us, we tend to have a bounce back week, just like we saw back here on the week of October 20th. So, excuse me, we'll see if that ends up being the case for BTC. Now, what he also talked about was the base case where ADA price could range from 80 cents to $1 due to the upcoming Hydra update and Asia tour. That could obviously be a very exciting thing. And then the bull phase where ADA price could range from $1.20 to $1.50 due to ETF approval and BTC pump. Now, some people say an ETF approval isn't coming. I think they're full of crap. It's very clear that institutional entities are prepping for this launch to take place, for not this launch, these launches to take place. We're still in a government shutdown. That's the only thing that we're waiting on right now. The SEC has shown that they are embracing these ETFs, hence by allowing some of these other ETFs to pass through without even saying a word about them, but also the fact that they've changed the overall structure to get an ETF approved. Guys, these are coming. And frankly, it doesn't matter whether it's November, whether it's December, whether it's January, whatever it might be, they're coming. Okay, that's what you need to know. Now, that being said, this bull case would obviously be really nice. And frankly, before the end of the year, we actually talked about this potential pump to somewhere in that $1.50 to $2 range. And what's interesting in terms of ADA is, again, we've been waiting for this stochastic RSI to come all the way down here to the oversold range, which it now has done. We're sitting at a 17.7, so below that 20. So that's a very promising sign, because when we do get down to these ranges, it tends to be obviously right before we go on some of these nice rallies here, right? Take a look back here, back here. This one didn't quite get to the oversold range, but you guys get the point. We've done this many times before. And at the same time this is taking place, guess what? We're pretty much bottomed out on the weekly stochastic RSI. So we've gotten that basically full reset like we've been waiting for. Could this in fact be the moment where things set up to pump to the upside? We'll have to just, wait and see what happens. But there's kind of your scenarios. For the month of November, I don't necessarily know if this one is going to happen. I think this is more of an end of the year push, But if you get the right things taking place, if you get short leverage liquidations, if you get the resumed retail confidence in the market, then we're going to be in pretty good shape. Okay, that's what I will say. Now, that being said, there was an update that took place the other day in terms of Ouroboros Leios that I actually missed. And seeing that there was only 326 likes on this, I'm guessing that a lot of other people missed as well. So Leios is moving from research to reality. The inaugural meeting in September officially marked the handover of Leios from input-output research to input-output engineering, transitioning the project from research and development to active engineering. So this was obviously what happened in September. Now we have had a month of development in October. So Leios transitioned from IOR to IOE. Monthly review and demo calls remain open to everyone. Performance: reapplying certified EBs now skip repeat checks, reducing rebuild work. The teams are benchmarking across the network and ledger scale prototypes to quantify gains and update operator guidance. Governance Q&A, the scope was simplified, but the goal remains higher. Throughput: product sizing and any adjustments will be handled transparently. And then obviously you can watch a recording if you want. But what you're hearing is progress towards the single largest, most scalable event we have ever seen in Cardano history. So, well, obviously we're still awaiting the launch of this. Obviously they've talked about Leios Lite, and I don't have an update on that right now, but I wanted to just give everybody an update that this isn't something that's quiet and dead in the water or anything like that, because a lot of times people have questions about that, because we'll hear about this update and then it won't be talked about for 6 months, right? So that's kind of where we're at. Progress. Cardano continuing to take steps forward. Price doing kind of what we want here. Actually, one more thing I forgot to show in terms of ADA. We talked about the weekly stochastic RSI reset. Guess where we came down to on this weekly candle? Our 200 week moving average. This has actually been a really good point of support, especially here in 2025. We've actually retested this 1, 2, 3, now 4, well, 5 different times. And guess what's happened every single time? We've had a strong bounce away from this, Is that what we're about to see again? Possibly. We'll just have to watch and wait and see what happens. So I want to hear your thoughts. Are you more on the bearish side here in November? Are you more on the bullish side? Are you kind of in the middle? But have a great day. Show your love below. Catch you guys in the next one. Take care.